So I'm here at the airport on the 16th of, what is it? It's March, and I have effectively missed the last flight out to America. Welcome to the home office, guys. This is going to become a pretty familiar place for most of the world over the coming weeks. But believe it or not, for the crew, we actually spend a lot of time here. I know that on our YouTube channel, we have shown you us flittering off to some of the most remote and exotic parts of the world. But that just generates gigabytes and gigabytes of footage for us to look through, and this is where we do it and turn into those edits that you see online. But this isn't the easiest work environment to adjust to overnight, and so we wanted to reach out, share a little positivity, extend our support throughout our YouTube community, and give you a few tips about how to survive the home office. First tip is you must exercise. Now, this is going to be particularly tricky during this time because a lot of gyms have closed down. As you know, I train Krav Maga pretty regularly, and my gym is closed down, and so my access to regular exercise has now vanished. There's a lot of general movement that you might have lost if you were someone that commuted to work, particularly on public transport, and even being in a big office. There's colleagues to visit, hallways to walk down to. All of that general movement is now gone, and you can be stuck to your desk all day. We don't like to rely on gyms too much anyway, which is why you'll see Eric often running around Seattle, sometimes pulling a tire behind him, going for trail runs, and even swimming in the Puget Sound. But you've kind of got to be mad already to do that. So a few little tips and things that I'm probably going to start doing is some basic push-ups, planks, sit-ups, some stuff that you can do within your own room. I have a dog, so I'll be walking him as regularly as I can. But whatever it is for you, try and find a way to move your body and break a bit of a sweat each day, because this is going to become very kind of claustrophobic, very stationary, and you'll just start to get more and more lethargic. Second point is space. Even if you had a tiny little cubicle, you still had a little corner of the earth that was carved out for you to work. It's not enough just to kind of find a bit of desk space. The dining room table, for example, would be a nightmare if you live with family, housemates or kids, because you'll just be constantly distracted. So try and find a room with a door to create an area that you can make your own. Number 3 is bring the outside world in. Now, I know I just said lock yourself in a room, but you are now suddenly void of colleagues and day-to-day busyness. So you'll have to find a way to stop yourself from going mad or too far down the wrong path of a project. What we tend to do is I will connect with Eric on the phone at least once a day, and we talk on a range of things. We cover all of our business stuff, but we also talk about things that friends would do. And you'll find that this naturally happened in your day-to-day work environment, but you're gonna have to create it now. There's also just a lot of general kind of flotsam and jetsam that kind of floats around a day-to-day office environment. Music, funny stories, news, although that's not always helpful. Find a way to just bring some kind of general noise into your world and kind of just stop you spinning around in your own thoughts. So I put Spotify on, sometimes a good podcast is great, and get good at the art of productive procrastination. This is basically time which allows your brain to kind of breathe. This would have been time when you went to go and get a coffee or walked over to the printer to collect something. Reading online blogs and articles and things like that that just keep your mind a little more engaged is really important. Fourth point is food. However you eat or whatever you eat is not really what I'm getting into here. The main point here is be aware that your day-to-day routine has shifted, and so your food consumption is going to shift. You might find that you're snacking a bit more because the kitchen's right there, or you might find that you have time to make a more healthy breakfast because you're not rushing out the door. One hack that I like to do is to have a cooked lunch. This is something that Eric and I actually look forward to when we come back from an overseas trip, where we've mostly been existing on a diet of Cliff Bars and suspicious kebabs that send us to the toilet every 20 minutes. We like to use lunch times as a moment to get out and to kind of focus our brain on something else, so we like to cook a nice lunch. The last point, number 5, is rhythms. Eric and I work for ourselves, and so we have a tendency to burn the midnight oil and work throughout the weekends, which is quite common for those that do own their own businesses or are freelancers. So we have to put in place the stuff that comes naturally with, I guess, a 9-to-5 office. I like to make sure that I'm out of bed and at the desk by at least 9 o'clock, and I have to exercise at least once a day, and I try to fit in at least 2 social activities throughout the week. When and how I do it is a luxury that I have because I work from home, but I make sure that I at least have those things in place. Those of you coming from a 9-to-5 office environment and facing this kind of endless amount of time, the good thing is you guys already kind of have the discipline and rhythm in place. So my recommendation is to keep the alarm clock set as it normally was, keep getting up at that time. You will find that you've got chunks of time now that are free, like your commute, for example. This would be a good time to fill with your exercise or maybe a healthy breakfast or something like that. But mostly, this is a utopia. This is a place where your pajamas are absolutely acceptable workwear. Every meeting is now an email, and all YouTube videos are now safe for work. And so, on that note, we have a ton of procrastination for you on this channel. We have videos from Antarctica, we've got ski films, we've got me vomiting in India, whatever floats your boat. We guarantee you we've got something that will take your imagination outside of the 4 walls of your home office. Leave us a comment. We do reply to pretty much every comment. So if you are feeling isolated, or you want to share your experience about working from home, or whatever's happening in your country around the world during this time, please reach out. We'd love to hear from you guys, and we know this is an isolating time. So we can be your community, we can be your contact to the outside world, we will reply, and we'd love to hear from you. So subscribe, follow, link, comment, all of that. Stay safe, wash your hands, look after the elderly, and be kind.